ain't got no tag. People are up. Yeah. Philly free sound. What? Yeah. Men of distinction. Let's go. We go from the trenches to top. Can't stop, won't stop, let the beat drop. Men of distinction, yeah, we got the vision. Turning that pain to straight ambition. From the trenches to the top. See the rough ones, watch them all fly. Free Santa Barbara, yeah, we keep it real. Building up a life that the lies guess. Philly was wild, police was dirty. Locked up a king, did them real dirty. Sam Harper legend, yeah, he got the name. System was crooked, they rigged up the game. Life sentence given, no evidence found. He kept his head up, never looked down.
Well, goddamn, what's up with the people?
Sam!
You look good like you're enjoying the freedom, man.
But it's a little chilly out here. I don't know if you noticed.
It's cold as a motherfucker out there. So, alright, here's the truth. I'm trying to get the support. I'm trying to get the people to come out.
And it's March 30th?
March the 30th at 9 a.m.
What room is it?
1001.
And then it's Judge Schultz and...
Yes, Jennifer Schultz.
So you were sentenced back in 2005 for the murder of an officer.
That's what they say, an off-duty police officer. But she was in civilian capacity at the time. She was home. It was my late wife. In all actuality, if this incident didn't happen, she would have been my co-defendant. I was going to go shoot somebody, make no mistake about it, in retribution for robbing and assaulting, my stepson at the time. So I was going to go put work in, as they say. In the process, and because of my incapacitation, I was totally intoxicated. I mishandled a firearm. She inadvertently took a bullet to the back. From that day, when the Commonwealth realized that she was just as much culpable, she was a part of my case, and because of her work affiliation, they didn't want that to come out because it would have been labeled, she would have been the first dirty cop.
You sure it's not going to get continued, or
I doubt it, and I think she's going to bring me down for it. The letter I sent to her, her clerk forwarded to him the whole nine, so he on deck. This lady reads her mail, she goes into her cases, the whole nine. My little cousin had a situation with a lawyer he gave some money to, and the lawyer wasn't doing what he was doing. So I told him, write the judge, send a copy to the clerk of courts, so it's on record. So later on they can't say you didn't exhaust all your rights. He wrote her, it took about 2 weeks. She brought him down, called him down there, and brought the lawyer down. At this time, he didn't have no date, no nothing. He just waiting on something to get listed. When he wrote that letter, she brought him down, cooked the lawyer, fried the lawyer, and said, well, he wrote you and asked you this and this and this. She said, well, the lawyer said, well, no. She said, you're lying. I got his letter right here, and he sent you a letter, and he sent me copies of it. She gave the lawyer 30 days, gave him extension, 30 days. I'm ordering you to do this, file what that man asked you to file. Subsequently, he had another hearing yesterday, a status hearing yesterday. And I only know this because my lawyer told me, I put him on my lawyer. So he said, yeah, he got a hearing yesterday to see if the lawyer did what he was supposed to do, the whole nine. But he might not, like that I did, he just got fired, so forth and so on. But she moves. So I sent her a letter. I said, they've had almost 6 months now to turn over these documents and this videotape. I said they had no intention on turning over the tape because it kind of put their foot, in their mouth. Had they gave up the tape from the beginning, I wouldn't have had a first-degree conviction, nor would I had a death penalty hearing. So they were trying to preclude me from having a way out. I said, I'm not claiming actual innocence. I'm claiming factual innocence. I said, had things went accordingly, I'd have had an involuntary man at best, or at worst, a third degree. So, I mean, I don't understand why they holding on to this tape. This tape is going, it's the proof at the pump. So I asked to be brought down. I said, because I don't think that things are being conveyed in the appropriate manner. No one can present my case better than I can. I got a letter that when I first got convicted, I got convicted on February the 16th. On February the 24th, I sent the letter to Judge Greenspan in the district attorney's office saying I wanted to rescind the agreement and go back to the point of interruption, which would have been the penalty phase. I said because I've since learned that they held the videotape, same tape they just found. They chased witnesses out of the courtroom. They locked witnesses up. The whole nine. It was a sham. It was an illegal procedure. I never had a...
What year was that?
February 24th, 2005. So when I sent her the letter that I sent the judge and the district attorney, I also sent certified mail receipts indicating that was sent to them. And I showed how they boxed me out and never acknowledged it until I got to the feds on a HABE. You follow me? And they had already had me boxed out. So I'm like, it's you know, in the fairness of justice, like it's time for this to be revisited. So I'm almost sure she's gonna bring me down. You follow me? And she gonna hold their feet to the fire. Now the last hearing, they said, when she said, why didn't y'all turn the tape over? They said their machine is broke. She said, y'all got an office with 1,000 employees. You mean to tell me you don't have a VHS that can tape another VHS? She said, I got one in the back. You follow me? So they had a little chuckle. She said, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you 120 days to produce these documents, or if you get them before then, notify the court and we'll schedule this hearing earlier. She said, but I'm giving y'all 120 days. So we halfway through right now, and they still haven't turned it over. I'm banking on them not turning it over, period. Just on some goofy shit, and her doing a Benjamin Lerner twist. Remember I told you, when Ben Lerner first came to CJC from the Public Defenders Association, Roger King had these 5 cats from out West Philly. They called the Mantua 5. They had a bunch of bodies. Roger King kept cheating, trying to get delays in the court dates to build up more evidence to make it a death penalty qualifying case. The judge said a while ago, yo, you ain't got it, it ain't dead, this what we doing, we going to trial. Next time we come back, be ready. They came back to trial. Roger King, Your Honor, I'm not ready yet. He said, you right, I got you. Dismissed with prejudice. They're the first people in Pennsylvania to beat multiple murders by way of a right to a speedy trial. And went home and got a hell of a check out of it. You follow me?
Yeah.
And it was a known fact, like that was their bodies. Like what they were charged for the most part, that was them. But because he kept cheating them and denying them a fair opportunity to a speedy trial, he threw that shit out. They got a check, and you can't come back because it's with prejudice.
Yeah.
You follow me? So they got 2 options right now: turn the tape over, bring me back, plead me out, or stay the course and let her throw this shit out. Like either way, I can't lose. They're not going to retry me. Once you turn that tape over, the tape will show that what we stated from the beginning. I was incapacitated. So there's no way I could form intent from the time you looking at me laying on this floor in this Sunoco to less than 6 minutes later. I got the right mindset to form intent to commit this act. You can't. It ain't gonna work. So you gotta plead me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they first got me, when they first arrested me, my case was listed as a crime of passion. Said my wife saw my girlfriend, I chose my girlfriend over my wife and shot my wife. That was the narrative they was going with. We were going with an accidental killing, the mishandling of a firearm. By the time they got my discovery, all the particulars concerning the case, and realized that she brought the guns out, gave them to a neighbor, said, get these to my husband, so forth and so on, so on, they realized her culpability. The case took a turn. They switched the whole narrative and went for first degree and a death penalty case. We referred them to a place I was at, the Sunoco. I was passed out prior to this incident, where I was on the floor, incapacitated, laying on the floor. The female that I was with had to come and retrieve me from the floor, get me in the car, and take me to her house. Tried to get me to come in her house and spend the night to sober up. I didn't want to go in the house because I knew if I went in the house, I would have never went to sleep. I would have never made it home. My phone rung again. My wife was on the phone like, are you coming? Oh, wow, yeah, I'm on my way. I took off. On my way home, I said, I don't have my gun on me. Get my toys and give them to Rich, which is my next door neighbor. She gave Rich the guns and said, get these to my husband when I get here. She was supposed to leave and meet me on location, thereby enabling me, once I committed the act I was going to commit, I could get in the car with her and get away scot-free. If they pulled the car over, she would show her ID, and we would keep on going. When they looked into the depths of it and seeing how it was going to play out, they switched. They went to the Sunoco. They verified whatever they verified. They vetted my story, came out to be true, and they suppressed the tape. They held it, never gave it up. So we don't hear nothing else about the tape until we go to trial. We in trial 2005 during the Eagles Super Bowl. So when the district attorney get up there and outlay the chain of events as he thought they happened, he said to the jury, you'll hear from the defense that the defendant was incapacitated, this, and this, and that. They said, we went to the Sunoco where he claimed he was at. We spoke to the person in charge. That statement that he made was unfounded. We looked for a videotape. There was none. He said this on record. So now you got fraud on the court and fraud by the court. We continue. We go on through trial. I get convicted. They go for the penalty. I opt out so they don't seek the penalty. I've been fighting this case since 2005. It wasn't until recently, 2024, April 2024, I got my homicide files. When we look in the files, the lawyer say ain't nothing there, this, and this. He dismissed me. A turn of events come again, probably about 9 months later. Detective James Pitts get convicted for perjury. Well, this officer's in my case, so now I file a PCRA. That's my way back in. When I file a PCRA, my new attorney goes to look at the H files. He said, I got to get your files and go check them out. I said, they are already procured there at the district attorney's office. Immediately, he goes over there looking at the file. He wasn't there 10 minutes before he said, oh, there's some files in here. I need some copies of some things I need, and I need a copy of this videotape. I said, what? He said, this videotape. I said, what tape? He said, the tape they had during trial. I said, they didn't have no tape during trial. They said it didn't exist. He said, man, I got the tape right here. He subpoenaed the tape, requested it, the whole nine. The tape would substantiate the Brady violation, that they withheld this from the beginning.
You didn't know about the tape during trial?
I knew a tape exists because I know all Sunoco's, all gas stations in Philadelphia has a tape, and they're self-recording. I know this just from being a Philadelphia resident. But when we told them to go get the tape, we offered it to them. They never knew I was in the Sunoco. We told them, here's evidence. Go get this tape from this Sunoco, this date and time. It'll show me on the floor passed out. They went to vet this statement. When they seen it, they decided to withhold the tape. They never turned it over to the defense, thereby committing a Brady violation, denying me the right to a fair trial. If they would have produced the tape, there would have been no way they could have consciously say we're going for a first-degree murder and a death penalty case, because the tape supported my version. Because my victim was an off-duty police officer, the blue wall sticks together. They're not leaving me no way out. They're trying to box me in. And, anytime they, take a law enforcement officers involved, they want the maximum, which is the death penalty. So they withheld the tape. Back then, 20 years ago, defendants wasn't getting their H files, so we never knew what was in those files. We didn't even know them files existed. Come to find out, with the H file, the H stands for homicide. It's a homicide file, and it's a DOA file. The DOA file is the district attorney's office. They have a file as well. That's where the tape was at. So, homicide didn't withhold the tape. They turned it over to the district attorney's office. The tape was in the district attorney's office box. So when we get to court now, my lawyer told the judge, we'll be waiting for this and this and this. The judge asked the district attorney, Caitlin O'Neill, does the tape exist? Thereby establishing materiality. She said, yes, the tape exists. They haven't had a chance to reproduce it because their machine is broke. So that's the whole thing in a nutshell. You establish the tape exists. It is there. It can be two horses having sex with a donkey. If that tape was connected to this case and y'all didn't give it up, that's a Brady violation.
Yeah.
Merlin v. Brady. You follow me? That's an automatic new trial. Now, in light that I had the videotape and I had Detective Pitts took a statement from a witness. The witness he took the statement from led directly to my testimony, to my conviction. That was the only witness that heard me. Ironically, she testified in the capacity as the best friend and the last one to see the victim alive. Well, lo and behold, this witness was also a Philadelphia police officer. So you got crooked Detective Pitts, you got the officer Victoria Phillips, whose statement he took, and then the district attorney, Ed Cameron, followed their narrative. The witness said we were having domestic disputes, she was leaving me, and she was going to go buy a house. Lie. My late wife's credit was under the ground. She couldn't buy a Snickers if she wanted to. But during the closing arguments, the district attorney, Cameron, kept going with the same narrative. He said, I tricked the decedent into taking property out of her name, putting it in my name, thereby insinuating I would have profited from my crime if I wasn't convicted. Well, City Hall, Record Room 285, is a block away from CJC. You could have went over there, pulled the deed to my house, and vetted this. When you look at the deed to 5957 Bigham Street, it says Samuel D. Harper. That's it. So how did I trick her to do what? He just committed fraud on the court and fraud by the court. And now their whole theory is the reason for my crime was infidelity, and she was leaving me. That's what the police officer Victoria Phillips said. Cameron closed out with the same thing. So I had the collusion with Detective Pitts when they colluded to form this fictitious statement. She testified, and District Attorney Cameron closed out on it. You follow me? So we get this back in front of a fair and impartial judge with a jury. You won't get none of this. You'll get an involuntary man. So then they don't want to take it back to trial. You're going to plead me out.
Well,
I'm just trying to get home with my wife.
Explain what involuntary manslaughter is.
Involuntary manslaughter is accidental killing.
So basically, that's anybody who could have had a gun and dropped it. If you drop a gun and it goes off and hits and kills somebody, that would be involuntary manslaughter.
Accidental killing, yes.
A car, and you can driving and you hit somebody because you ran a stop sign. I think they call that involuntary manslaughter, right?
If you drop a brick off the roof and it accidentally hit somebody, it's called an involuntary manslaughter, an accidental killing, where the person had no intent to kill the victim.
Right.
Hence, there's a law.
What kind of time does that hold?
3 to 6. You can get anywhere from a 3 to 6 to possibly, if you got a prior such as it may have been a 5 to 10.
Right,
But
and that's the max.
It would have maxed out at 10 years.
Yeah. And how much time do you have in, Sam?
23 years. So I got that double and then some.
And you're back to court on March 30th.
March the 30th, 2026, in front of the Honorable Jennifer Schultz, courtroom 1001 at 9 a.m.
And the goal is to get some people down there because we want justice for this case.
I need support. I need some people to come out. We want to know, where's the videotape? Why did they hide the tape? Why did you withhold it? And as a result of them withholding the tape, what were the consequences for me? And not to mention that if I left out of there after we had the jury verdict, we proceeded straight to the penalty phase. If I didn't had a sense of mind to check out because my verdict came back too fast, having some knowledge of the penal system, I know that was just too fast. So it's evident how this next verdict was going to come back. If I would have let them proceed with the penalty phase, I may have been dead by now.
Wow.
All because knowing that y'all cheated. So just imagine if I went the distance. I'd have had the death penalty, probably been dead. All in the name of y'all cheating. I was denied a constitutionally protected right, the right to a fair trial. If you're withholding the evidence that y'all have against me, I cannot defend it because I don't know the evidence exists.
Yeah.
You follow me? So where's the accountability? You know, that they call in places like Texas where they have so many wrongful executions. Well, Pennsylvania always had one in my case.
Death Row Stories. It's a whole. How many seasons of that show is there? And that's every single one of them were innocent on death row.
The officer that took the statement, Detective James Pitts, he come out to be a convicted felon.
That was the do not call to testify list. When did that come out? That was 2016 or 18?
I want to say probably 2016. They had a list of officers, Philadelphia police officers, that was on the list of do not call because they had been compromised one way or another, and they were involved in some shady practices that's unbecoming of a Philadelphia police officer.
Unbecoming of a police officer in general, yeah.
Unbecoming of a police officer.
This is the list that the district attorneys and the judges knew about. That's their list. And
the list was the district attorney office had the list. It was secretly, we didn't know it until Terry Hongboff put the list out and made it public. And then that's how we knew the different officers was on that list, and that allowed us, access back to court.
I didn't know the name of the person, no.
Yeah, she has a project called the Transparency Project.
Yeah, I heard that.
She's an attorney, Terry Hongboff. Larry Krasner, when he came in office,
bless her heart,
he put a bunch of people out of office, fired them, forced them to retire, the whole nine, everybody that was on that list. My district attorney, Ed Cameron, was one of those. He put out of the district attorney's office. Cops like Detective James Pitts, Kenneth Rossiter, and all the other dudes that's been convicted on the list, he excluded them from testifying during cases. Ronald Dove, they had a case with Ronald Dove in it. He wasn't even putting them on the stand because come to find out this dude was raping, robbing, committing all type of atrocities.
Yeah. He was just in the news again.
For sure. So, I have the convicted felon now, Detective James Pitts, take the statement from Officer Victoria Phillips, where they fabricated the story, and then the district attorney, Ed Cameron, furthered that statement, which directly led to my conviction. It was an unfair trial. I never had a shot. So
Pitts is one of the top on that list.
For sure.
It's Pitts, Dove, and there's really like 5 of them of the worst of the worst of the list. The list is pretty bad in itself, but there's like 5 of them that have like a ongoing pattern in history.
Out of a list of about 110 officers, I had 8 of them in my case in some form or fashion. Be it taking statements, transporting witnesses, they're in the police activity sheet. I would have never known if I didn't have a copy of my police activity log, and then compare that with the do not call list. So from start to finish, it was a shamble. Now during my arrest, and another point about the tape from the gas station. During my arrest, when I was arrested, I had about $444 in my pocket of U.S. currency. I had 31 purple bags, as they say, tested, G-rated positive for cocaine. So with the cocaine the 31 bags of cocaine in my possession, that videotape showed me passed out on the floor the whole 9. They got that and they proceeded properly. They should have took my blood, my urine. Prosecutor gave me a cocaine possession charge, along with putting that videotape in evidence. Again, that would have substantiated my story that I had self-medicated and was highly intoxicated. They didn't want to do that. I didn't get a cocaine charge, and they held the videotape. But they entered the cocaine into the evidence on a property receipt. You follow me?
Yeah, I follow you, but that's crazy that even happened.
Well, again,
no charges, but it's logged as cocaine.
No charge. I have no charge, and it says tested, G-rated positive for cocaine. The evidence that they took from me, they took my vehicle, an Infiniti. They took another car registered in my name, a Mitsubishi Galant, which was in front of my door. They took $444 out my pocket. They took my cell phone. They took a set of keys, and off my person they took a bag containing 31 purple bags. Tested G-rated positive for cocaine. Those are items that's on my property receipt. My watch, my chain, my phone, my keys, the cocaine, and my money. And I never got a drug charge.
So this case had suspicion written all over it from the beginning.
Because it was considered the victim was one of their own.
Yeah.
And at all costs, when it's involving a law enforcement officer, they pull out all the stops. That's just the nature of United States.
Yeah.
If you got a crime against a law enforcement officer, they go the distance and they go for the maximum penalty. So that's what they do.
Thank God for people like Terry and Krasner.
For sure.
How many people even got out because of them, and if it wasn't for them?
We'd all still be stuck under the rug. But, because of people like that, we have a plethora of people going out that should have been home. Yeah. So be it late justice, we're still getting some type of justice.
Right.
Late justice is better than no justice at all. You know what I mean? I had the nonprofit going, Men of Distinction, where we're trying to intervene in the lives of young men, the ages 12 to 18, before they make the mistakes and bad decisions that people such as myself have made and experienced and going through these hardships such as us. If we can intervene and catch them at a point, man, before they get here, we can change the trajectory of their lives. And
that's
needed. Mandatory that we give back, yeah, for sure. If you just watch the news, man, and see how they're going, man, at the rate they're going right now, without some direct intervention, we won't have no young brothers in society in the next 20 years, because we all dying at a rapid pace or coming to jail for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
Like somebody got to go home and like we got to grab these youngins, man. Anybody talk about it, but I owe a debt first and foremost. Like, and one of my ways of getting back, I got to pay my debt, man. I got to help somebody. I got to do somebody else to keep them from traveling the path that I travel. On top of that, I'm going to open up the barber school, Legacy Barber and Beauty Academy. I've since acquired my barber teacher's license since coming to prison. So now I have a valuable trade, not just to go home and work, but to go home and help teach somebody else to give them a trade. Everybody tell the youngins, put down the gun, put down the pack, don't do that, don't do this, but you don't get them no other alternative. Some of them cats, not that it's right, but that's how they're eating and feeding their family.
Yeah.
So my motto is, I tell a youngin, put down the gun in the pack, pick up a clipper and a cape. That's symbolic to what I do. I'm a barber teacher. Let me teach you what these clippers can do for you, man. You don't need that gun nor that pack. Take him to work with me for a day, show him what's going on, and then give him the proceeds from what I made today. When he see what you getting legally and ain't nobody shooting at you, chasing you, and you get to go home at night and live with your family peacefully, you can't tell me he ain't gonna buy into that.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. Like,
there's good money in cutting hair, and if you still wanted to, feel the rush, you could, you don't have to pay your taxes. I got on a couple of those tips.
I understand. Like, I know how it go. Now they got a joint out there called Nomo. Nomo is doing it. Nomo, they doing it. But Nomo take walk-ins. Everybody's not going to walk into a nonprofit and say, yo, help me. Sometimes you got to meet them youngins where they at. I'm going to the trenches, right back where it's at. Like, yo, shorty, come with me, man.
Let me
take you somewhere and show you something. So that's my mission, man. For whatever I got left in this life, that's what I've devoted my time to, man. I got grandkids out there. I need to be able to say, I'm going to see my grandkids reach maturation. Get married, graduate from school, have a productive life. Like, we got to go, we got to intervene, we got to step up. You know what I mean?
Basically, you'd be more of an asset out here than you would be in there. You would save lives out here.
For sure. And without a shadow of a doubt. And because I know my faith. I'm responsible for the loss of a life, whether it be it directly or indirectly.
Yeah, you've never denied that.
So it's my responsibility as a man, as a faithful Muslim, to pay it back. If I cause some harm somewhere, I got to do just as much to try to, I can't take back what happened. I can't right that wrong, but I can mitigate those circumstances. I can help someone do something else, move to the opposite direction. That's my way of paying it back. You follow me? Yeah. Like, that's what's on my heart. That's what weighs on my heart. So, I fought a long fight. They got 23 years out of me. I done fought cancer twice. Now I'm fighting to get home so I can finish my fight in the community, man. God. The community that we've tore down, we got to put something back into and give back to it, man. That's what I'm on. Men of distinction.
Men of distinction. I like that. I seen the shirts.
Ain't no doubt. Go on Instagram and check me out. Men of distinction.
Is that what the Instagram is? I don't even know if I'm.
Yes.
I barely even know how to work the Instagram. I'm good with the Facebook one, but the other one.
It might be on Facebook too, but on Instagram it has its own page. It's spelled Men of Distinction, with the exception of the word of. It don't have the O. It has an asterisk. So you put Men asterisk F distinction.
Okay.
It'll pop right up.
I'll post it.
We need support. We need followers, man, and it's time for the men to put work in.
If you were to make a theme song for Men of Distinction, what would you want it to sound like? What would your theme be?
The concept be from the trenches to the top.
The trenches to the what?
From the trenches to the top.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My motto is, I say, let's get to the bag legally, one that they can't take. You earn it with your hands by way of halal means. You ain't got to worry about nobody taking your stuff. What they call it, forfeiture, or going to jail. You can make a very healthy income, in the field of barbering, styling hair, a beautician. I'm here to impart, that knowledge. I've had some good teachers over the years, and I probably could teach better than I can cut. I'm a barber teacher now. Are
you in the barber shop there yet?
No, because they're supposed to be putting the guys out here to make room for the new licensees on the other side to come and get their manager's license. I understand Grateford has always done it every so many years. Yeah. So I can see Phoenix doing it. Me being a barber teacher, going through that same process, I can't even get mad. I went from a barber to a barber manager to a barber teacher. So the barbers over there want to come and get their manager's license. I get it. So they got a guy here, the deputy superintendent, keep telling me, hold on, you got the next chair coming, the next available chair. But as long as there's a licensee saying he wants his manager's license, I know what they won't say is he has priority over me, because I've hit the ceiling in the field of barbering. I got everything there to get. He's trying to climb up the ladder. So they just tried to move me to an old people block last week. They got a senior block they just started. So now I'm going to do a proposal to try to tell them, if you're looking out for the seniors and trying to make things easier for them, then put a barbershop over there. You put a barbershop over there, I'll go over there. There's my job, there's the senior block.
See, you're a thinker.
So that's what I'm on, man.
The world needs more thinkers.
But I'm fixated on this March the 30th date. I need, I got to pack the rooms, man.
God, that's 2 months.
What I notice about her is she invites the family to participate. She asks, is the family here? Anybody here for the defendant? Then she asks, will anybody have anything to say? That kind of caught the people off guard. Then what I learned is if it's a handful or more, she sends her clerk out to count the people for the inmates. She counts the support, because that's what she's big on. She looked for two things. She looked for the law, like what brought you back in court, and then she looked for the support. Their thing is they don't want to turn and they don't want to turn an inmate out from the penitentiary after 20-something odd years, some decades, and come to find out he don't have a leg to stand on, and he back in the news for a robbery, murder.
It also shows, demonstrates a person's character. You know what I mean?
Sure. So, my reentry plan is I have a valid commercial driver's license, so getting a job is not going to be hard for me. Like, I can walk right into a job. From there, I'm gonna continue to build my nonprofit and try to set the foundation for my barbering school. You follow me? I keep my name out there. My resume is on Indeed, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter. I'm always actively seeking employment. My home plan is stable. I just have to get out there now to, effectuate my plan. So every day that I'm here, I'm working towards getting there.
Are you already on LinkedIn?
For sure. I'm on LinkedIn, Indeed, and ZipRecruiter. My complete resume is there. Yeah, so
you're ready to go.
Can't stop, won't stop, let it be drop. Minute distinction, yeah, we got the vision. Turning that pain to straight ambition. From the trenches to the top. See the rough ones, watch them all flop. Free Santa Barbara, yeah, we keep it real. Building up a life that the lost gets. Philly was wild, police was dirty. Locked up a king, did them real dirty. Sam Harper legend, yeah, he got the name. System was crooked, they rigged up the game. Life sentence given, no evidence found. But he kept his head up, never looked down. Teaching the young ones how to be great. Boss ones only get food on the plate. We ain't moving bricks, we ain't moving weight. No. We buying a block and we buying a state. Listen close, don't make a mistake. Let's get to the bag legally when they can't take. Let's get to the bag legally when they can't take.